Bob Barr, who's already on the board, he'd like to remain on the Airport Authority Board.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Public comments?
I just have a couple of questions.
Name and address, please.
I'm sorry, Cindy Schmaltz, 6795 North, County Road 450 West, World Center. Something I wanted to say last week. I want you to look at me again.
I can hear you.
Please,
I gotta
want you
hear
to
you.
look at me. As you see, you listen. I know with my husband, he listens better if he's looking at me. So I prefer.
Well, I'm not sure. Go right ahead.
You're a man, and that's typical. Something that I was wanting to ask last time I was here, NIPSCO, they own a lot of underground pipelines that go through the northern part of Cass County. In fact, our yard we have a main that runs under the ground. And they own access, 66 feet of access. And so in April, they came through and said, we're going to take all your trees down because they could be a problem for the pipeline. And so our big maple tree had been there 40 years, but they still had to take it down because it could possibly be a problem. And then we had 5 more trees taken down, so our backyard is bare. And my question is, if a root system of a small tree could bother the pipeline, I'm thinking the vibration wouldn't that be a problem? I would say, because we've talked about the collapsing of wells. If it's going to collapse a well, it could interfere with the pipelines. And in northern Cass County, about 2.5 miles from where I live, is the underground storage for NIPSCO. And that's serious. I mean, it's really serious to know that we're that close to a possible explosion. And with the turbines, I'm thinking that's just going to increase a really problem. And that's a major concern because, like I said, my house sits within 22 feet of a main. And I think that's dangerous. I think it's really dangerous. And I don't know if NIPSCO has done a research. I tried calling NIPSCO, and they wouldn't talk to me. They just said, well, if we have anything that's going to change, it's going to be mailed within your bill. So I thought, well, by then it's done. And I was just pretty well brushed off. And so I couldn't get any answers to see if they had been approached about this problem. Another thing I'd like to ask, if you would possibly today take a delay in the vote for this very important decision. This is a very important decision with a moratorium for a year or whatever time it takes, whatever's best that you guys would think some time. So you can delay this vote because you owe it to everybody in Cass County and also to our families, and to do some real research, especially in this NIPSCO thing. This really scares me, and the well. I mean, that really scares me. So anyway, to do the proper research into the effects of the non-participating landowners. I see the numbers on there, and I'm assuming that's going to participating landowners. So I'd like for us too to be a part of this decision. And you guys, as you're our public servants, you were voted here, and so I think you owe us a little bit as far as our safety, our welfare, our health, because this is for all citizens, not just the landowners, but all of us. And I appreciate that, and I thank you if you would do that, take it into consideration, because this NIPSCO thing really, it has bothered me for a long time. And to know that I could possibly be sitting on something that might explode someday. And I understand, as big as these turbines are supposed to be, the vibration, I understand, is really unbelievable. And my dad owns cows, and you know how sensitive cows are to a storm. Well, if they're gonna feel the land vibrate, what's that gonna affect on our livestock, our milking livestock, our reproduction of livestock? I mean, there's just a lot to take into consideration. I would appreciate if you give us take more time to really research these things. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Because of that, we've got 2 minutes now.
Go.
For your comments.
Good morning, Howard. My name is John Baker. I live at 4293 North State Road 17.
Thank you.
From the presentation, I see that Res has agreed to larger setbacks than what we've been talking about. However, the lawsuit that you're involved in states that the wind ordinance is unlawful, and I think that needs to be determined before you continue on. I don't see how you can continue on with this project until that's decided. Any comments on that? Maybe Jeff? Anybody?
It's up to the courts, not up to us.
That you're going to continue on before it's decided?
Don't know that yet. We don't know when the court thing's going to be decided.
All right. Okay, good enough.
Thank you.
Jessica Kranz, 3294 East, 150 North, Logansport. I too have two quick questions. The first one is in relation to the PowerPoint. I noticed that there was no mention of how high these turbines are going to be, and there has been some discussion of that. So if that is something that is to be made public, now would be a good time to put that out there. Second of all, will the public hearing regarding this be an evening public hearing?
Yes.
So that more people may accommodate? Awesome. And when will that be?
Don't know yet. We haven't said it, but we will.
Will it be with more than a day's notice?
Yes, usually is. That's by law.
Usually isn't. Just
What do
clarifying.
you mean
Thank you.
usually isn't?
People don't read the classifieds, sir, for information. People like a broad spectrum of informational resources. So we need more than just one day. We would like perhaps a week so that people may plan accordingly and actually allow themselves time to attend.
We actually do what the state requires, which is usually
The
3
bare
days.
minimum. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Ruth Baker, 1808 West County Road, 500 North, Logansport. At the last Commissioners' meeting on May 7, 2018, I gave a speech about the mission statement to protect and serve the citizens of Cass County by implementing and facilitating good, sound business practices while trying to develop economical growth in our county. I quickly read that speech in approximately 2 minutes so that I wouldn't get the hook to drag me away from the podium. As I reviewed the tape, Ralph looked at me 1 minute, 48 seconds. Jim looked at me 1 minute, 3 seconds. Jeff did not look at me at all. Are you afraid, uncomfortable, or embarrassed to look at me and the rest of the people in this room? Are you scared because of something that we might say? Or is it something you did? What is the problem? Out of common courtesy, you should be looking at the people when they are speaking to you. We are all told about this practice, but it wasn't until Cindy Schmaltz saying it out loud, "Look at me," when I am talking to you, that I admitted to myself that something was flawed. However, now that the meeting's behind us and the primary's over today, I want you to take you off the hook. I want you to close your eyes and breathe. Everyone here needs to close their eyes and breathe. Take 2 or 3 deep breaths. Deep breathe deep and open your mouths. Let the air out. Releasing all thoughts of your mind. I want you to think about your heroes or your hero. Personally, I want my heroes to be the county commissioners who listen to the people of Cass County. You have put in a lot of hours and work on a thankless job. Not everyone wants that job, so we commend you, the commissioners, for your endeavors. While we're breathing, thinking, reminiscing, I want you to go back to the cell phones when they first came out. Remember the ones that you saw in movies and TVs that were in cars of rich people? Along came the bag phone that can be connected to the cigarette lighters. Then 20 years later, the mobile phone was introduced. It was a very short period of time, and now we have phones that connect to the internet, FaceTime. record movies, lets us watch movies, play games, etc. Due to the market, cell phones are now being sold, resold, donated, and recycled. All of this happened in our lifetimes. How fast things have changed in such a short period of time. Do we need to jump into wind turbines that will be outdated before they're even put up, much like the old cell phones? Do we need to explore other reliable energy sources such as coal, natural gas, nuclear, hydroelectric, that is changing ever so quickly? Does everyone need to sit back and breathe? Do we need to pause at a moment for technology to catch up so that we are better utilizing our time and energy so we're not revisiting this issue again in the near future? Imagine lots of people having a parade down Market and Broadway, elated and ecstatic over our county commissioners, our heroes, who did not sign up for the wind turbines projects in Cass County. Those commissioners who stopped, took a breath, paused. Imagine the commissioner's name on a plaque because the project was given a moratorium. We
You're
need
all
to
over
stop
3 minutes. You're
and
3 minutes and 40
rethink our
seconds.
products so they can be sold and recycled for the next generation. What's the hurry?
Well, the hurry is we're gonna adjourn the meeting if you don't stop.
Thank you.
Good morning, Laura Redwood, 5524 North, Town Road 600 East. In that presentation where Rez says they're going to give you $25,000 for the 200 million or 200,000 megawatt. In a FOIA obtained through Fulton County, it was said Rez has agreed to reimburse legal fees at the last group meeting involving Fulton, Cass, Miami County officials on August the 10th. It was discussed that it would not ask for legal fees, but ask for an upfront economic development payment, which is exactly what that just said. That would cover these fees. It was discussed that this language would be more palatable to the wind company versus reimbursing legal fees. Okay, Fulton County has not received one dime. Fulton County, as I understand, did not sign a contract about these reimbursement of legal fees. So I want to make sure you guys, the commissioners, have signed that contract. Because in the Rochester paper, it was stated from Commissioner Steve Metzger, who was tasked with following assessing the proposed project, said Rez would reimburse the county up to $25,000, whether the project is green lighted or not. So keep that in mind. Make sure you sign everything that you can so we can get reimbursement if this project does not go through. Another thing is that we were able to obtain were all of the numbers from the Umbaugh Associates for Cass County. It's funny that those numbers are different than these numbers, and I know Fulton County is out, so that would take out one. However, those numbers that were just read were higher than these numbers, and this was based on 195 turbines. 195. So for a 200 megawatt project for Cass County, how many turbines is set? Because there would have to be a heck of a lot more than 195. I'd like to know how tall, if these supposedly aren't going to be the 820, so are they the 3.6, 4.2? You know, I mean, we would like to know how tall these are and exactly how many are planned to constitute what those numbers are that Umbaugh and Associates presented.
Thank you.
That's all. Thanks.
Going after her.
Good morning. I have some packets here for you first, gentlemen. May is Military Appreciation Month. And I don't know if you have served in the military or not. Oh, right, yes. Okay. My name is Danielle Mullinex. I live at 6785 North, 100 East in Denver.
Like I said, May is a military procedure. Here, you'll have to share that. I'm here to bring another concern to you regarding the WIND project, our military. And since May, like I mentioned, is the appreciation month, I think that's appropriate time to make you aware of the following. The proposed turbines, as we've heard, we're looking at 600 plus, largest erected on land. This would interfere with training, maneuvers, and military readiness of the 122nd Indiana Air National Guard Fighter Wing based in Fort Wayne. To give you a little history on this base, it was constituted as the 358th Fighter Group in December 20th of 1942, which was later redesignated to the 122nd Fighter Group on May 24th of 1946. On May 10th, 1972 was the first flight of the A-10 Warthog. If activated to federal service, the wing is gained by the United States Air Force Combat Command. Their military operation area is within Cass, Miami, and Fulton counties. The ceiling of an A-10 has a much lower level flying mission than the KC-135s of the 434th Refueling Wing out at Grissom. The training flights start at about 500 feet. The proposed turbines are well in excess of 600 feet. I would think anyone, even if not military, or even if you're not a pilot, you would be able to see the cause of concern. In addition, per the Indiana Economic Digest article, now that's also in your flyer. This is recent, April 9th of this year. The area, the 122nd, is cited for growth by the Indiana Office of Defense Development. Like I said, that article is there for you. The wind turbines could also pose compatibility issues because of their electromagnetic signature, and that can compromise radar, electronic systems, and other communications for air traffic controller, fire desk operators, and unmanned aircraft observers. This concern was raised during the Grissom Air Reserve Joint Land Use Study per their questionnaire of 12 people for the counties of Wabash, Howard, Miami, and Cass, and that is what that leaflet. Page 13 is flagged for reference.
Ma'am, you're at 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
So,
We can read. Thank you.
oh, anti-American.
Yeah.
Wow.
4477 West State Road 16, in continuation of her presentation, the 12-mile East Military Operation Area, A-10s and F-16s assigned to the 122nd Fighter Wing and 163rd Fighter Squadron stationed at Fort Wayne have an above-ground level of 500 feet over my house. There are proposals for 685 feet Federal Aviation Administration request that was filed on February 9th, 2018. The Federal Aviation has not approved that request. Why would you even consider an agreement with a foreign-based company when our Federal Aviation has not approved their request for 685-foot turbines, when our military has a 500-foot flight ceiling? The Planning Commission has not met since January. Jim, maybe you should have considered having a Planning Commission meeting to consider changing the setbacks and revising our ordinance here for Cass County.
Susan Salem, 2681 East County Road 375 North in Logansport. I'll keep this brief. The other night I was up pretty late and I was reading the Cass County Comprehensive Plan. It was published on the county website. It's dated 2009. And that and other things that we understood about this county when we moved here to start a business is what caused us to be here. If you read that, I encourage you to read it. It talks about our way of life. It talks about protecting the agricultural, rural state of our community. And it says nothing about industrial development outside of the Hoosier Heartland corridor. that had a lot of public input. If you're going to make a decision that dramatically changes the character of this county, I think you owe it to the citizens of this county to update the county's comprehensive plan so that it reflects what you're doing. That comprehensive plan indicates that it should be sort of the guide to the commissioners in how to conduct the affairs of the county. And I just would encourage you to not sign this agreement until you have reconciled and made whole with citizens of this county the vision of what this is going to be. The only reason that I'm able to sit here and be reasonably calm about this is because we're in the process of leaving the county. And that we will be in a long line of people who wanted to make this their home, who your decisions were making it a place unfit for people to live and to work and to develop business. It's a serious consequences, and I just urge you to have the courage to reconsider. It's not too late. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Brent Thomas, 6528 North, 900 East, 12 Mile. The rights of every man are diminished when the rights of one man are threatened. That's a quote by JFK. That is exactly what is happening here. The rights of the people and their property are being threatened. That's not just emotional, that is a fact. With the ordinance in place now, non-leaseholders' property rights are under attack. To protect and serve the citizens of Cass County. That sounds familiar. Yes, to protect and serve every member of Cass County to the best of your ability, not just one lease signers. I've heard a commissioner say, what about the rights of the people that have signed? Very true, what about them? I feel they have the right to use their property as they see fit. However, they or the county do not have the right to diminish my property rights or anyone else's. It is the old saying, you have the right to swing your fist, but that right stops where my nose begins. And my nose is my property line. And that's everyone else's property line in here. No one wants to live where their property, where the property you pay taxes on, is no longer viable to be used as you see fit. Where you live leads to our schools, especially Caston and Pioneer. How do schools get funding for teachers and education? Well, it's the number of students enrolled and their testing results. What makes you think that these schools will thrive in the future being surrounded by industrial wind turbines and land that landowners cannot use as they see fit? Who wants to buy, live, pay taxes on property that cannot be used by a landowner? Who wants to live next to these giant noise-producing skyscrapers causing countless hours of lost sleep, leading to problems at school, possibly even leading to diminished test scores? Oh yeah, that was the second part of our school funding. You say, but the wind money will help schools. No, it won't. None of the money can be used for education or salaries, only for capital projects. So with people not able to use their land, noise, flicker, road damage, and overall lack of peace, who will want to live, move to, or build in northern Cass County? Pretty easy answer, no one. I know Cass's numbers are down, and with the loss of some Cass County students, it could possibly close. Pioneer is right in the middle of this mess, and I'm sorry, but I don't see state football championships in its future. I see declining enrollment in a very dim future. These wind companies do nothing but destroy and wreck communities where they set up. They feed off hopes and money. They mislead and lie to sign-up landowners. They are fed by our tax dollars, abatements, and promises of quick money. They are not green, and they are not cheap. They are extremely costly. Costly to the people and the communities in northern Cass County that may have to live with this mess for years to come. Thank you.
So you got in the building all right today?
Yeah, but you moved the wrong plant.
When were you coming in?
It's the one, it's the plant when you're going out. It's in the building still.
Oh, in the building?
Yeah, it's right there.
Move that big pot and
Not great.
6,000 pounds.
You moved the wrong one. It's only the 20-pound one.
Could you move that down on their way out? So it's only 20 pounds.
Evan Criswell, 8339 North, County Road 350 West. Royal Center, Indiana. Sorry, you lost my whole train of thought. I'm just gonna do some more of your job for you here. I'm gonna ask these people some questions and they can answer. The $1.78 savings, is that work that you're gonna save on your taxes? Is any of the landowners in here wanting to save that, or would they rather pay the $1.78 extra?
I'll pay it.
Okay.
Can't buy a tank of gas.
What about the people that
A
just own
gallon of
homes?
gas.
Would you like to save $10, or would you like to pay the
We'll
extra
pay it.
$10?
We'll pay it.
Okay. Then that's all I got for
I want to go back up there so bad. I'm so freaking pissed right now.
Well done.
Way to go, Evan.
I'll move that plant too.
Don't you have a taller mic stand?
Bill Hook, 5453 East, County Road 425 North, Logansport. Industrial wind turbines. Everyone always goes back to the same argument about them. Think about all the money they'll bring to Cascade. Hook Farms currently farms about 1,500 acres. We do business with about 14 different businesses in Cass County. So what I did is I went back 7 years and took an average of what we spent at each individual business in Cass County. And I come up with an average of $550,000 a year that's spent in the businesses in Cass County. So according to an Indiana.edu website, a study done by the Indiana Business Research Center at IU's Kelly School of Business states that every dollar spent by a farm creates 41 cents of economic activity. So if that's the case, Hook Farms creates $225,500 of economic activity a year in Cass County. So if we had a 25-year contract with Cass County, we could contribute $5,637,500 over that 25 years. Sounds pretty impressive, doesn't it? But we got 2 10-year extensions yet. You guys haven't figured that in. That's an extra $4.5 million for a total of $10,147,500. Well, too bad for Cass County, we don't have a contract. We don't have to shop in Cass County. We can go to Fulton County, we can go to Miami County, we can go wherever we please. What we are asking is that everything be measured for the property line, not 50 foot around my house for how noisy it is. I enjoy all my property, not just a little circumference around my house or wherever. So there are people here today that are 3 to 4 times the size of our operation. What if they choose to leave Cass County? What if there were 1,600 condition signers decided to shop outside of Cass County? Groceries, gas, all that. Will that affect Cass County more than $5 million in lieu of taxes? I think so. Thank you.
We should ask for a tax abatement.
Brenda Russ, 4127 North World Center Pike, World Center. I am also on the Harrison Township Advisory Board, and we farm 750 acres, so we're a little bit smaller, but I just know what my budget is. I know what Harrison Township's budget is. Looking at this right here, we're talking about dimes, we're talking about pennies, we're talking about not enough money to cause this much heartache. If you have any one of these disasters where people get ill from the effects of the noise, I'm not causing 50 decibels worth of sound right now. I don't want somebody talking outside my door all the time. Okay? I just think that it's almost to quote Shakespeare, this is much ado about nothing. It's much ado about just a few cents. It's much ado about not enough money to cause this much. Thank you.
Sarah Craig, 5684 North County Road, 600 East, 12 Mile, Indiana. And just to be clear, it was $1.87, not 78. I wrote it down. I'm paying attention. $1.87 for my sunsets, you guys. I bought my house because I have a beautiful porch. I have a beautiful view with the creek behind my house. And we love the outside area because we have just a beautiful horizon all around us. And you're asking me to trade my sunsets, one of my favorite times in the day, just to go out there sunset time, and sit on my porch and relax and enjoy my family and the view around me for $1.87. For me, personally, I realize you look at this for the whole county, but that's what I would get out of it, and I don't believe that that's fair. Also, if I'd known this was gonna happen when I purchased my house 8 years ago, I probably wouldn't have purchased my house there. I probably would have gone someplace else where I didn't think this was gonna be a problem, because I no more expected this than people in Broadway on Broadway Street would expect a pig farm. Thank you.
Paige Woodhouse, and Mrs. Pazel was my speech teacher, and she did not teach me to speak that quickly, so I'm going to slow down and share that on April 18th, Talk of the Town, it was assured by Jim Sailors that the listeners would not have any turbines in the southern part of the county due to Grissom Air Force Base, and that was just a scare tactic being used. Once again, I remind you of the military operation area in the northern part of the county is lower than that of Grissom Air Force Base. And I assure you that the southern part of the county is not out of wind, because if this county is taken over by wind and there are new commissioners in your seat, we might as well use the whole county for wind.
So you know all the rules, obviously.
Well, you don't.
All in favor?
No. No, he was up.
Listen to you.
My name is Kenny Reese. I live at 3022 West Delaware Road. I was a 2016 candidate for Ralph's position, and I plan on being the 2020 candidate for that position as well. 4 years ago, what's happening is you're doing the same thing to these people you've done to me. And that's why I ran for commissioner. Let me give you a quick example. Planning commission rules don't apply in this county when you guys want to avoid them. People cross property lines without a permit, build on my land. And this county told me, can't do nothing for you, Mr. Reese. Your neighbor hired our attorney. So 4 years ago, where the central issue of all this is, a plugged up county culvert, I asked you guys to come out and look at it, review the commissioner meetings. In 2016, as a candidate, I specifically asked Mr. Ladoni, what's taking you so long? It's been 3 years. I've seen it. Well, you should have stopped and talked to me and let me know. But you don't reach out to the public. But on that day, after 3 years, I ain't forgot you, Kenny, because I won't let you. And Mr. Sailors, you jumped at his defense and asked me, the citizen, needing help, are you here to complain, or do I need to have you escorted out? That's the way you treat people. And I'm looking forward to sitting right there, 2021, and helping you become a better people person. Thank you.
Go get a mic.
May I speak? I was, it'll be short. I live at 321 South Hillcrest Drive, right here in Logansport. It's a matter of money and greed and quality of life. I'm not going to look out my window and see these, but these people are. The quality of life, how can you mess with that? It affects everyone now and forever. Thank you.
I own property at 1361 East and 650 North, not a resident of Cass County. But I do agree with Cindy, and I hope that you would plan to delay your vote on this very important issue. I know that when each of you decided to run for commissioner, you did it because you believed in Cass County, and you wanted to do the best for the people in this county. And in turn, the people in this county voted for you because they believed you would look out for their health, welfare, and safety. If these wind turbines cause people to suffer health problems, if the people don't feel safe because the wind turbines are too close to their homes, if they lose value in their homes because the turbines that they've spent their lifetime building, and if people are paying taxes on property that they cannot use as they wish due to trespass zoning restraints, the legacy that you leave will not be as public servants who took care of the people, all the people in this community. Thank you.